Hi, this is Dr. Aidoo with the Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology. We want to look at the base of the skull today and pay more attention to the foramina, or the holes or spaces inside the base of the skull. We want to look at the structures that pass through them. We want to begin with the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone, which will have the olfactory nerves coming through that. Okay, so you have the olfactory nerve coming through those small spaces. These are actually first order neurons from the olfactory receptor, which will go and synapse with the second order neuron in the olfactory bulb. Okay, so that is the cribriform plate, foramina of the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. Then this is the optic canal through which the optic nerve will pass through. So the optic nerve is also coming from the eyeball through the retina. So that is where the chiasma will form, the optic chiasma. And this space is where the pituitary gland sits. Okay, so that is the hypophyseal fossa. Then that is the posterior crinoid process. So we have cranial nerve 1 related to the foramina of the cribriform plate, then cranial nerve 2, which is optic nerve. Then when we look down here, we see another fissure, okay, which will contain the cranial nerves 3, 4, and 5, 1. So 3, 4, and 5, 1. 3 is the oculomotor, 4 is the trochlear, and 5 is the trigeminal nerve. But the trigeminal nerve has 3 branches. So we are looking at the ophthalmic branch. That's why I said 5, 1. Will pass through the superior orbital fissure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, then when we come posteriorly, you will see the foramen rotundum. Foramen rotundum, that will carry the trigeminal nerve, the branch number 2, known as the maxillary nerve. Maxillary nerve will pass through the foramen rotundum. Then the very famous foramen ovale is here because the space looks more oval. Okay, it looks more oval than this rotundum, which is more roundish or spherical. So the foramen ovale will now carry the third branch of the trigeminal nerve. Okay, third branch of the trigeminal nerve. Remember, foramen ovale is going to carry the V3 of trigeminal nerve, what we call the mandibular division. So maxillary division will pass through the rotundum, maxillary mandibular division will pass through ovale, and then the ophthalmic division will pass through the superior orbital fissure. So we want to now look at the 6, which is the abducent nerve. The abducent nerve. The abducent nerve will also pass through the superior orbital fissure. Superior orbital fissure. So now we are adding abducent nerve, which is cranial nerve 6, to the 3, 4, and then 5, 1. So 3 is oculomotor, 4 is trochlear, then trigeminal nerve, first branch, which is the ophthalmic, plus the abducent nerve, which is cranial nerve 6. So let's go over again. Foramina of cribriform plate will be related to cranial nerve 1. Then the optic canal will carry the optic nerve, cranial nerve 2. Superior orbital fissure will carry cranial nerve 3, which is the oculomotor, cranial nerve 4, which is the trochlear, cranial nerve 5, the first branch, which is ophthalmic, and then the abducent, which is cranial nerve 6. Then once we come to the foramen rotundum, it's going to carry the maxillary branch of the trigeminal nerve, and then the foramen ovale will carry the V3, which is the mandibular branch of the trigeminal nerve. So we've done 6. 7 is the facial nerve. So the facial nerve together with the vestibulocochlear nerve will pass through the internal acoustic meatus. There's the internal acoustic meatus, which is found on the temporal bone. Okay, temporal bone. The foramen rotundum and ovale are found within the sphenoid bone. Okay, and the same way the optic canal is also in the sphenoid bone. Okay, and this is in the ethmoid bone. That is the foramina of the cribriform plate. So this is 7 and 8 cranial nerves passing through internal acoustic meatus. So we are now left with 9, 10, 11, and 12, because there are 12 cranial nerves. So we see a very big foramina here, which is, or foramen, which is known as the jugular foramen. So that will carry the 9, 10, and 11 cranial nerves. Okay, so 9 is glossopharyngeal, 10 is vagus, and then the 11 is the accessory nerve. Then we are left with the very final one, which is the hypoglossal nerve, which will pass through its canal called the hypoglossal canal. Okay, so 7 and 8 facial nerve and vestibulocochlear, 9, 10, and 11 glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory will pass through the jugular foramen, and then finally the hypoglossal canal will contain the hypoglossal nerve. Obviously that is the very large foramen magnum that will receive the spinal cord and then the medulla. Okay, so note that. I hope this video helps. Thank you very much.